turn your phones on off, vibrate, or silent, whichever one is your pleasure. But we don't need your phones going off within the program. So let me follow my own instructions. And I'm gonna put mine on silent. Don't call me. I was trying to test the microphone, so it may appear to you that I'm screaming at you. I am not. Somehow it's not working in that wall right there. There's some technical difficulties. And so wave your hand if you can hear me. Wave your hand if you can. Well, I should have did that. Wave your hand if you can't hear me. If you can't hear me. Okay. So I'm not screaming at you. I'm trying to speak where you can hear me. Okay? We're going to move on with the program expeditiously because we don't want to hold you all, and we have a meeting that you are invited to at 5 o'clock p.m. Welcome to our Meet the Candidates. We are happy to present to you our top 3 candidates from 6. I think we had about 6 interviews. These are our top 3 candidates. You are here to meet them tonight. They are here to meet you tonight. There will be an informal greeting a little bit later on when it's time for Chat and Chew. Right now we're going to be a little formal with you. They're going to have some presentations to give to you. And if you have any questions that you have of them, please hold them until the informal Chat and Chew. That way they can mingle with you and talk with you in an informal setting. Is that okay? All right. So we now have prayer. We will have a prayer and food blessing. I was asked to ask if there's a citizen minister in the audience. Okay, come on, somebody from the deacon board, come on. If you're from the deacon board, come on and give us a prayer. Come on, Brother Ralph. Come on, let me draft you, Brother Ralph. Okay. Minister Shelton, come on.
You gonna do it?
Oh. No, you can do it. You can do it. He doesn't mind. He doesn't mind. Tell me. Nice to meet you. I finally meet Beauty Benjamin. I didn't know who the Benjamin was in the police department. Okay, very good to meet you. Okay, Minister Beauty Benjamin is going to bring us prayer, and please offer a food blessing for us.
Father God, we thank you today for gathering in this occasion. Father God, we thank each and every one that came out, Father God, for this special occasion for the 3 candidates on today, Lord God. Lord God, we ask you to bless each and every one of their minds and everyone that's here today, Lord God. And we thank each and every one for coming out again. And Lord God, we just want you to come into this presentation with each and every one of them, Lord God, and let your word prevail in each and every one of them for this city. Father God, we thank you also for the food that has been provided here, and we just thank you in Jesus' name. Amen.
Amen. Thank you so much. All right. Now we are going to meet the candidates, and we are going to meet them in alphabetical order. Please be seated. And I'm tempted to test this microphone one more time. They are not screaming at you all either. They're going to have to project. Please project your voices so that everyone can hear you. This is also being filmed by Mr. David Blackman, so it will be on video for those citizens who could not make it. So please, when you come forward, project your voice so that everyone may hear you. First up, in alphabetical order, we will have, and you have 5-minute presentations, Lieutenant Kenta Fulford. Let's give him a hand, please.
Good afternoon to everyone.
Good afternoon.
All right, my name is Lieutenant Fulford, and I've been with the Selma Police Department for 17 years. I want to thank all of my family for coming out. If y'all would just raise your hand. All right, appreciate it. I started my career at the Selma Police Department back in 2002. I was deployed shortly after that in February of 2003 to Iraq. I did a year over there, and I came back and went to the police academy.
We're family here, so we're just going to do this.
I said, once I got back from Iraq, I then went to the police academy in 2004. From there, I was promoted to sergeant in 2009, and then to lieutenant in 2016. I threw my name in the hat to be the chief of police because I've been with the department 17 years. And the main thing that I've seen in the department is we have officers, senior officers that are leaving that have the training and the skills, but then none of the lower officers have these skills. And then what's happening, we are scrambling trying to find help to get these skills to the officers that are not supervising. So my focus and goal would be effective recruiting. We need to recruit officers. We are way below the number of officers that we should be having in a city of this size. Also, retention. We need to retain the officers that we have, because what's happening is the officers are getting the training and they're staying 2 years or less because and then other departments are picking them up because they don't have to pay for the academy. So what we want to do is keep these officers in the city because we need them. We need the officers. And once we do that right there, the city would be better off. And I want to implement the bike patrol. I'm the only bike patrol other than Captain King, who's our interim chief right now. And that would be a good community police strategy to have the bike patrol implemented back into the Selma Police Department. At this time, some questions later?
Questions later, yeah.
Okay.
Let me know when you're done. You're done. All right. Let's give another hand for Lieutenant Cook. Thank you so much. And now next in alphabetical order, we're having Sheriff Investigator Mr. Kenneth Harden.
Good afternoon. Well, let me tell you a little bit about me. I am a politician, so I can talk here for a long time tonight. So how long y'all want
5
to be
minutes,
here?
honey. 5 or less.
Are you going to stand up when it's
5
time
or
to
less. I'll let you know.
Okay. Let me tell you a little bit about me. I started Lowndes County Sheriff Department in 1978 as a reserve. In 1980, I went full-time with Lowndes County Sheriff Department as deputy sheriff. 82, I think it was, I went to Greenville Police Department and worked there. 1995, I went to work with the Buck County Sheriff's Office as chief deputy / investigator. Run the department there for 7.5 years. 2002, I went to work with State Fire Marshal and worked several counties throughout the state with the State Fire Marshal's office. In 2006, when we had the church fires in West Alabama, I was very involved in investigating those church fires, and we were able to make arrests on that. 2019, this year, I retired as sheriff of Butler County after being sheriff for 12 years there. I worked very hard to change Butler County, to get the trust back into the law enforcement from the people there. We worked hard, and we were able to do that. And we worked drugs very hard. If you look around and read the newspaper, you'll see that 90% of the crime is drug related, and that's got to be worked on. I retired in 2015. We were named the safest county in the state, Butler County. We had 3 drug agents that worked drugs countywide. 2017, I was elected as the chairman over the District 2 Alabama Drug Task Force, and we worked with drugs in 15 counties there. And also I was named the vice chairman over the whole state drug task force. And then, like I said, I retired this year. I come to work here in February of this year, part-time, and Sheriff Franklin had called me. I met him because I'd worked some cases here in Dallas County when I worked with the State Fire Marshal's office. And he asked me if I would come over here and work with him, and I did. Since I've been here since February, I investigated. We have a big problem with youth crime here. We have got to do something to help our youth to get them to where they're not breaking law. So far this year, I have arrested 3 17-year-olds and charged with capital murder. That is too young for this. We have got to work together. We got to get the trust from the citizens back with the police department. And I feel that I'm the candidate that can do that. I have an open door policy. And another thing I would do is every citizen who wants my telephone number, they will have it. So you can get in touch with me 24 hours a day. That's one thing I ran on when I was sheriff of Butler County, and they were able to get in touch with me anytime. If you don't answer the phone in, you leave a message and I will call you back. But I do look forward to working here in Dallas County, to work with Selma, to work to make Selma a better place to live, a safer place for our elderly and our youth. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
All right. And now, finally, we will have from Partners in Parole, Dr. Stephanie Stewart. Good afternoon. I'm Stephanie Stewart, and I just want to thank you for your invitation to just invite me here this evening to share with you my vision that I have for the city of Selma as chief of police. So I see policing in Selma as missing one critical element, and that is trust with the community. My vision for the city of Selma is, as the chief of police, is to build the trust with the people. And how I plan to do that is to encourage the police officers there to get back to the fundamentals of policing, to find their passion for policing. I know myself, I knew when I was 12 years old that I wanted to work in law enforcement. And so I had a passion there from a child to police. And I'm pretty sure that most police officers start out with a passion. And somewhere along the way we lose that. Part of it because sometimes we get overworked in patrol. That's part of it. And that's why the recruit element is important. I agree with Officer Fulford, Lieutenant Fulford, when he talked about, recruiting and retention. Yes, recruiting, but one thing about recruiting, the important thing in recruiting officers and retaining is to make the pay competitive. And also for the community to show the police that you all appreciate the police, okay? But there's a two-way street in policing, and respect is something else I think that's very critical. So respect internally for the officers, between each other, that's something I was taught early on in patrol. When I worked, my field training officer taught me always be respectful. I can arrest you and still respect you. I don't ever have to disrespect you. And one of my goals for police officers is to lose the ego in policing. Okay, I can be firm yet compassionate and enforce the law. Okay, because one thing about policing is that we're not just here to enforce the law. We're here to defend your constitutional rights. And I just want that to be real clear. I think that community policing means that let's get back to the heart of the community. See, the police cannot exist without the community, and vice versa. We need you just as well as you need us to protect and to serve. So, yeah, I have a resume that is about 5 pages, and that was the best I could do, right? But, I've accomplished a lot in life, and I didn't do it by myself. First of all, I did it with the help of the Lord, because He has been my source throughout life. And I trust that if this is the position that He has for me, and let me be clear, I love my job that I work right now. I am a manager for the Bureau of Pardons and Paroles. I love what I do. I manage the pardons unit. And what I do is I help applicants through the process when they apply for a pardon so that they can get their rights back, okay? So that they can have opportunities for jobs and for housing, sometimes for promotion, to buy a gun, to vote. That's what I do. And I enjoy what I do. However, I realize that if I'm called to serve as the chief of police, and I shared this vision with my aunt. I say, hey, if God called me to do a job, the next job He calls me to do, it may get me out of my comfort zone. Because I'm comfortable where I am right now. Where I work, I'm comfortable. I like my supervisor. I don't think many people can probably even say that. But I can definitely say that. I'm pretty comfortable. My major is policy, public policy. I review policy pretty often in my workplace and apply it to the job. Yes, ma'am. And so I'm comfortable there. But I know that my next opportunity in life is going to get me out of my comfort zone. I know that the city of Selma is challenging and moving forward. But I feel that I share the same vision with the Public Safety Committee based on the discussion we had in the interview. I feel like I share the same vision, and I just want to be a part of the process. Now, I do believe Selma is going to move forward, whether it's me or one of these other leaders here is selected for chief. However, I would like to be a part of that moving forward. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Stewart.
All right, and now we'll have remarks from council members who may be in the audience. I don't see the council person from Ward 1, but I do see the council lady from Ward 2. Councilwoman Hamlin, come join me. You all might not know, but Councilwoman Youngblood is a member of each year we rotate committee. She's a member of the Public Safety Committee, so she helped to put the interviews together. She and another councilwoman that you'll hear from right after her, and so we just appreciate the work that you all put in casting the interviews and all 6 interviews and putting together phenomenal questions. I was there, I sat in the audience, and I heard every single interview, so thank you to the committee.
Thank you, Councilwoman Benjamin. This is probably the hardest interview process that I've ever been in on. The last time that I was in on an interviewing with the Chief of Police, Mayor Evans was in office. And that process was a lot different. We had interviews set up, and the committee consisted of the mayor, 2 council people, and help me out, Councilwoman Benjamin. It was 2 council people, a former police chief, and that's right, and the mayor. And that was difficult enough. But what has made this so hard? We had 6 very well qualified applicants. And that made me feel a lot better about our police department. I've worked since 1990 very closely with law enforcement. And I have always held a deep and abiding respect for our law enforcement officers, have held very close friendships with most of them. And just appreciate very much the work that they do and the work they've done. But I can tell you that whatever we do, whatever is decided, that we're going to be in good hands, and we're going to be moving onward and upward. It was so difficult that we decided that we were going to have to do things way different this time, that instead of just deciding alone on interviews and on our due diligence that we usually do, that we needed to open it up to the community and let the community have some input. Not that people, the onus is on you all or people to make that decision, but in addition to what we have garnered and gleaned from our due diligence, to hear what the community has to say and what the people that these fine folks have worked with. And I'm going to tell you something. So far, I have heard wonderful things about each of these 3 fine people. And I've heard fine things about the other 3 folks as well. But it is not, it's not been easy so far. But that lets me know that Selma is indeed in good hands. And I just want to thank y'all very much for coming out. And I want to thank you 3 people for wanting to step up to the plate, for loving Selma enough I'm gonna tell y'all, like I told people that ask me, when are you gonna run for mayor? And I'll say, well, first of all, first and foremost, my husband says if I run for anything else, he's gonna throw a fundraiser for the other person. But second of all, I'm not running for anything for my life, you know. I'm done. But anyway, but for loving Selma, after all of the service, the years of service that you all have given, for loving all of us and Selma enough to be willing to do that and still serve. So I'm going to turn it back over to my fellow councilwoman. We started out at the same time. And now listen, just because I'm not in politics anymore doesn't mean that I'm going home to just sit and be laid leisure. I'm still going to be moving and shaking and doing some stuff. So anyway.
And when we were on location, we forgot to tell them this, Susan. So we started out together in 2008. And I had said to myself, I'm going to come in with Obama and I'm going to leave with Obama. You know, I'm just going to do 2 terms. So, Billy Youngblood, you're smart. If she runs again, throw a kickoff for her competition. Because this thing is crazy. And I guess we're half crazy for doing it. But on location, I am Ivory.
And I'm Ebony.
And that's how we run. I'm with you on that, Sister Youngblood. Next we will have, I don't see, I think Councilwoman Jackson's at work, so I'm going to move over to Councilwoman Thomas. I think you're the next council person in the audience. We're going to bring Councilwoman Thomas up. Let's give her a hand. Come on, for the microphone. It's for video. People are going live. People need to hear you. You're looking good. I like your hair. All of that. We need you up here in front. And so Councilwoman Thomas is also a member of the Public Safety Committee. Again, thank you all for your hard work. We do appreciate it. You, President Bowie, who is at work, President Bowie and Councilwoman Youngblood make up the Public Safety Committee. You all put some thought into this. You looked over the applications and resumes. You put in some hours to this. And so again, thank you to the committee.
First of all, I want to thank everyone for attending this meeting because it's very important to the city of Selma. First, I want to thank each candidate that applied, we picked. The reason why I want to speak because it's very important to the city of Selma that our police department, we have a chief that is very concerned about the citizens in Selma. We have so much things have happened in the past. Our police department needs strong. We need a strong leader that will be here for the community and to serve the people, the city of Selma. We have a lot of things that has been happening in the city of Selma. And we need someone that can relate to the police officers that are working at the Selma Police Department right now. And for one thing, people in my community in the city of Selma, they have a voice. And they also complain about a lot of things that we don't have, that protection in our community. Community service is one of the #1 things in the city of Selma. In each ward, we have 8 districts that during an 8-hour day period of time that we have all kinds of things that are going on. And we need good leadership to make sure that our public safety is safe. And those are our #1 things that we're looking at, a strong candidate that will stand and rebuild, unify our police department, make it strong for our community. So I just want to say that I love working on being a part of the public safety because public safety is the #1 issue in my ward. We have a lot of murder crimes, we have a lot of robbery, we have a lot of other things. So we need someone that's going to lead Selma for 2020. A strong police department, build the strength in our police department, work together as a team. So I just want to thank everyone that's coming out to hear what we have to say about our needs.
Thank you, Councilwoman Thomas. All right, I'm going to go out of order a little bit because I have liberty and I have the microphone. I'm going to bring up our acting police chief and have him say a few words. I want to recognize that Justin Rowland is in the audience from the U.S. Attorney's Office, and the crew is in the audience in the back. They are here simply for support. Chief King, gotta get used to that. Chief King, please speak to the audience.
Good evening. You know, when I stand here, I don't think about being in church, but I'm just gonna say it's good to be here. And the Lord is good. I'm just gonna say this here and be very brief. The council in the city have an awesome task on their hands. And I said it to the council the other day that Ms. Harden, Stewart, and Lieutenant Fulton, it's not about me. It's not about you, it's about the citizens and all those working together. I think that by you being where you want to step into the plate is an awesome thing. One thing we do need is more trust, and the trust with the citizen and the police department that we kind of got way back when. I wish you both good luck. I'm willing, Councilwoman Benson, to work with any of them.
We know.
And I've said that. I'm not gonna, in this setting, I'm not gonna say why I didn't put my name in the hat. That's not relevant. But I will say that whatever you do, just treat the people right, treat people fair. And I know you do that, and then just be available to your constituents. And I will hold down the store, hold down the fort until one of you three. I think all three are good candidates. I really do. Now I want you to say this setting now. I can't go here and say I choose it because I don't know who's gonna be the next boss. You want to say it this setting. But nevertheless, I want to say that I'm proud of all three. All of them are good candidates. All of them are well qualified, and just looking forward to see what happens. I think it's a good thing, Councilwoman Benson, what you're doing here to put it out there, because years ago I can say that, and I think she's in the interview. When I interviewed with John Brock, and me and John Brock came in 1 and 2, of course no chief, Brock came chief, and in that setting. And it was a little different this, and I like this setting here better. It's only done by the politician when I went through. But I want to tell to Mr. Stewart, Lieutenant, I'm proud of all of you all. Mr. Hardy, I've been doing for years and years. I've been doing it for years from Butler County. And I know all of them well. Ms. Stewart had worked with us. I was down there when she worked down there with us, so I know all of them very well. And so I'm proud of you all. I'm proud. And we got to build our trust back. I often tell the guys, I will tell you this, I'm an antique, and the department growing young, I'm an old school guy. People say, Ms. Benton said I'm an old school guy. I believe in, I'm a person who like to react with the public, I'm a people person, and then they be that way, they're gonna be all right. And anything I can do for any of them, I don't know how much longer I'm gonna be there. I've been in city government for 35 years. From the Reagan administration, so and so it's time for everything. That's one of my main reasons. It just sometimes just time. But anything I can do, I'm not going. I'm gonna be there until the new chief come in, show him where the door is. I'm gonna show him where the keys, and I'm gonna give him the SUV, and I'm gonna be there for him. But treat these men upside that wall there, some along the wall, they'll be, because remember this is like what do I see? And so that's somebody want to ask me something. The chief of police is only good at the officer work underneath him. And I know this from being in the position like 3 or 4 times. If the officer do bad, the chief look bad. When the officer make the chief look good, the chief look good. And I can tell you something, a lot of times I look bad. I look bad. Sometimes I look very, very good. So it's up now. So Ms. Benton, thank you. If anybody got anything want to ask me, I'll be glad. But other than that, I thank her for giving me the opportunity to speak.
Absolutely. Some of you all don't remember, this is a man of many hats. Chief King here, I remember at some point when I was younger, I didn't just see him riding bicycles, I saw him directing traffic light to a science. He had the thing down to a science. So I do appreciate your service on all levels. I must agree with him. I like this setting better than the settings that we have had in the past. Citizens of Selma, you have access today to the 3 candidates. You have access to the council members who are present or who will be present if they show up. Whatever you would like us to know, you need to tell us today. We vote tomorrow. You have access to the Selma Police Department members who are on the wall. You have access to them today. We're about to get ready to go into a very informal setting where you will get to mingle, chat, and chew, and where it's less intimidating. Private talk, side notes, and all of those things. But in this room, I'll tell you again, you have access to a lot of folk that you need to have access to today. Today is the day to speak. Tomorrow is not that day. Right? After we take the vote, tomorrow is not that day. Today is the day for you to tell Angela Benjamin how you feel. Councilwoman Youngblood, Councilwoman Thomas, and any other council member that walks through the door. Today is the day that you get to ask these candidates, if you have not seen them in another setting and asked them already, or if you thought of something else you would like to ask these 3 candidates, today is the day that you can ask them that. If they said something that you were unclear on, ask them a question about it, ask them to expound on that. They are here for that. We also have refreshments that were catered by our very own, the coffee shop. Stand up, Miss Jackie Smith. Let's keep our businesses open and operating. My favorite coffee shop, and that includes Starbucks. My favorite coffee shop. Yes, ma'am, indeed. And so we appreciate all of you coming. We appreciate the media. We appreciate Channel 8, WAKA, Mr. McDonald. We appreciate the Selma Post Herald, Mr. Randy Williams. We appreciate our very own, and I think he's self-dubbed media, David Blackman, the media for the citizens. We appreciate Ms. Hawaka McGee and her daughter going live so the citizens could see what's going on who could not make it. Officer Shelton, who is also videoing for those who could not make it. We're about to go into our informal setting. To my left and some of your right is refreshments over there, so please partake of that. We don't want to take any of that back with us. Make sure you do. We're going to ask our candidates to please stand. Y'all give them a hand for even wanting to serve the citizens of Selma. We look forward to any one of these 3 right here. Any one of these 3 serving and protecting our citizens, caring for the police department, unifying within the police department, unifying within the citizens of Selma, and talking with these little children. We got a few little children in here, and I like that part of policing too. Community policing, that's my thing, that's the thing. That was my thing with the interviews when we had Chief King and Brock and all of them. One of my questions was a community policing question. We got to get back to that so that if you want people to talk, you got to engage in talking with them. You got to be a little bit more personal, fair and firm. You can be firm and still be fair. And so, Sheriff Investigator Hardin, Dr. Stewart, and Lieutenant Fulford, y'all are some brave soldiers. And we do appreciate your service thus far. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much. We won't be back to the microphone at 4:30. You'll see probably the council members creep on out of here. You are invited to the 5:00 p.m. council meeting right over in council chambers. Thank you so much for attending.